Hello everyone, I am Shane Thomas from CodeKarate.com, and if you remember where we left off last time, we just created our Site5 account. And if you went ahead and went through that with me, you should eventually receive an email that looks something like this. Basically, this email confirms that your hosting account is set up, and it provides you information to access the files of your website, and it gives you the password to log into your control panel and provides all the other information you need to get started. So if you go back to backstage.site5.com and log in, you'll notice things are a little different. You have some extra information about the server that it's currently running on, and you also have this section up here called Site Admin. In this drop-down, you will see any of the sites that you have created. So you can either click on that directly or click on this Site Admin link. But before we get started with that, we're going to go over two things today. The first is to show you how to import an existing website into Site5. And we're just going to show one method where you can get started with that. And the other option is we're going to show you how to install a Drupal website from scratch. So if you want to migrate from an existing host, you can go over to add-ons, and there's a migration request form, and they have a free migration service at Site5. So you can fill out this form, and they will actually assist you in migrating all of your content over from your previous host to Site5. You can do this manually too, of course, but this is just the option to get their help, and it makes it really easy, and it's allows you to go ahead and get your site up and running pretty quick. So if we go to the Site Admin over here on the top, you'll see all of our sites are listed here. Let's go ahead and click the planeswithoutpilots.com, and this is going to go ahead and open your cPanel or your hosting control panel. The cool thing about this is not just specific to Site5. So if you are coming from another host, a lot of it's going to look familiar, which is good. And it's basically a bunch of options for you to control your hosting environment. The first is to change your password, and that's something I would highly recommend doing. So I'm going to grab the password from the email because I will need that to change it. And now I'm going to go to change password. Your control panel password is not the same password as the password to log in to the backstage.site5.com site, so keep that in mind. So if I paste in the current password, and then I enter a new password, I then can click change password. This will take a few seconds, and the password should then be changed. So once the password is changed, we're going to now go back to the dashboard here, and we'll just walk through all of these real quick, and then we'll get our Drupal site set up and running. The first option is the mail section, and that's if you want to actually set up email on your hosting account. The files section is important for managing your website. You can set up different FTP accounts. You can manage your files directly using a file manager on the web. The logs section will provide any additional error logs or information about your hosting environment. The security section is important, and in the next video we'll actually go through how to set up Drush on your Site5 hosting account using SSH and your shell access. Your domains, this section is to actually manage the domains for your account. In this example, we're using the planeswithoutpilots.com domain, but you could have multiple and you might need to set that up. Databases are also important. The first option, MySQL Databases, allows you to add or remove databases, and PHPMyAdmin will allow you to manage the data or view the data that's actually in the database itself. There's some configuration options down here and some advanced settings, but let's go ahead and just get started. there's a web apps section over here. I'm going to go ahead and click on that and click Install and Manage Web Apps. This is going to give us an option to basically one-click install all different types of web applications. In this case, of course, we are going to install Drupal. So once this loads, we are going to select Drupal from this list. You can see there's a list of popular web apps, or you can go ahead and browse for other web applications. We are going to go ahead and select Drupal. And you'll notice it says version 7.20, which you'd think would be out of date, but it doesn't actually install this version. So you want to double check that when you install that it is an up-to-date version, but it will install a much more recent version here. The first option, once you click that, is what you want to prefix your website. I prefer without the www, so I will take that off. You select the domain name, which directory you want to use, or you can leave it blank, which I will do. It will give it a default database name. It will set up cron for you, which is when your actual cron tasks will run on your Drupal website. I will leave that at its default. You can give it a title here, or for your site name. If you want to set up a table prefix for your database, a lot of this stuff can just be left at its defaults. You now get to set up your admin username and password. And your admin email. So we'll go ahead and click the install button. And you'll see it says it's working here, and this could take a few minutes. So we're going to go ahead and let this run. But once this actually goes through, we should be able to access this website if we pointed the domain at the right IP address. So while this is working, let's go ahead and pull up that email. You'll notice this is the account IP. So if you have a domain name that is not using Site5, so if you're using some other domain hosting service, you want to make sure you point this domain at this IP address. And that'll go ahead and allow you to access it once it kind of does its thing. Sometimes it takes a few hours for it actually to go through. There you go. Now you see it says new installation successful. It gives you a whole bunch of information about your login here. You'll see that it does show your password here, so you might want to actually change that once you get into your actual website, but it is secure. I'm going to go ahead and change this one so no one else can get into it after I record this video. So let's go ahead and click here and we'll see if it works. And there you go. We now have our Drupal website up and running. If I log in, it's a working website. You will notice there's one thing we're going to change real quick. Notice how there aren't clean URLs by default. We're going to go ahead and change that. If you go to configuration, and you go down here to clean URLs, we're going to go ahead and enable those just to make the URLs a little more search engine friendly and a little more easy for another user to navigate. You can also double check, this is something I would recommend doing, the status report. Make sure everything looks good. And you'll notice that the Drupal version is 7.34, which is the current version as of right now. So that's really all there is to it. You now have a working Drupal website with a few clicks of a button, and it's all done through Site5 hosting. In this next video, we'll talk about how to actually set up Drush for this site. One of the major topics I've heard a lot of people ask about is getting Drush set up on shared hosting accounts. And it's actually not too difficult to do, so we'll walk through that in the next video. Thanks for watching.